Brooke Hogan.
Uncle Biz, Bubba.
I knew you were in town. She almost sounds like Hogan, doesn't she? Uncle Biz, So I knew that you and your husband, I didn't talk about it at all. I've not said a word about it on the show today. Didn't really, I talked about the situation yesterday, but I knew you were coming to town. I didn't talk about you coming to town. You had arranged to come to town to meet with a couple different places and agencies to, kind of get some, just do your own little investigative stuff or answer some questions that you had on your terms. And so, how did it go?
Yeah, and I appreciate you, kind of being the place I can, kind of just put these rumors and stuff to rest. I mean, God, the press has just been like hounding me like you would not believe. And now that we've kind of reestablished our friendship, it's been nice because it's like, okay, I don't have to talk to every single Tom, Dick, and Harry, about this, and I can set the record straight. So, yeah, I was, sorry if you hear my children in the background. We're driving back.
Oh, you brought the twins to town. That's great.
We brought the babies, yeah. It was actually a really nice day. I got to see one of my dad's lawyers who I really, have a lot of admiration for. We were able to hug and reconnect and just say hi. And I was able to see my dad, and he looked great. He looked like he was ready for a pay-per-view.
So you actually were able to go see your dad?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was very nice. So.
You said he oddly enough looked pretty good.
He looked like he was ready to go on TV, and he was big, strong, hair looking good, bandana on, Fu Manchu going. I mean, he looked great. I guess however they make that happen, but he looked great, and it was awesome to see him. And I said a prayer over him, and I got to say my final goodbyes, and that was that, and it was super nice. So, I went to the police, Clearwater Police invited me to go meet with them and review, all the footage, all the body cam footage, all the stuff. And I'll just say, they're doing a great job, and they're being very thorough, and Sky is being super cooperative, and everything's going smooth. So, I just want to thank you to the Clearwater Police for doing a great job. Thank you to Sky, and thank you to the funeral home that let me see my dad, and that's basically pretty much it. So I know some stuff is going to become public information. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it was a really beautiful day, and it answered a lot of questions for me. So
I have been very tough on the Clearwater PD, asking all types of different questions. I've been very tough on...
You've called for resignations.
I've called for the chief to resign because I thought they botched the investigation. But you're saying after, and again, one of the reasons why I probably had that stance is because of the unknown. We can only sit here and think about, the worst that could have potentially happened, not knowing any information because no information has been disseminated. But you're saying after having, by the way, I heard Kevin Hazlett was your attorney that you took with you.
Oh, yeah, he's the bomb. He's been in the family for a long time.
Yeah, dating back clear to when Bel Air tried to put a $500 a day fine on Linda for having too many dogs. Remember that?
Oh my God, that was so funny.
So
I think she told them to kiss her butt or something.
And she told her, "I'll pay the $500 a day." And then we got back to the house, and Hootie goes, "We're not paying $500 a day." so all right, I have been very critical of Clearwater. Do I need to walk it back a little bit and and say, okay, I'm hearing from very reliable sources, which are you, who spoke with them, that you're satisfied with what they're doing and what they've uncovered, and if you're okay with them, I certainly should be okay with them.
I mean, my only thing that I'm a little disappointed in is that we're not going to have toxicology, and that's really not anybody's fault. It's like when you don't have a pulse, you can't really pull blood. It's a very complicated thing, but I think they were a little slow to the game, but I think they're catching up. So they're doing a great job, and this guy's been super sweet. It was really nice to see my dad's lawyer that I've known for years yesterday, and it was just kind of like a nice little reunion, So. I just want to tell the press to just stop bothering everybody, though, because it's just become an absolute massacre, just with this. I mean, everybody with the rumors and the this and that.
Well, I mean, but I've been at the forefront of that. So I'm talking to you about this situation for the first time. I've had no indication as to, where this was going other than Clearwater PD not telling anybody anything, which leads me to, our minds to wander.
It's only natural, right, to assume the worst, until it's what's the saying? It's like you're guilty till you're proven innocent. It's
right.
Especially for me, when it's my dad and I have no horse in the race, meaning I'm not sitting here getting a payday to go investigate this stuff. If anything, it's, I'm kind of the low man on the totem pole, but I promised my dad, that I would be his ride or die till the very end. And, I had to do my due diligence just to make sure, everything was on the up and up, So, I mean, it's like I had to be skeptical and I had to worry and I had to go see for myself, So, and that's, I think, what any good daughter would do. And even though you and my dad didn't have a relationship, which is a shame because you really should have, I believe truly deep down in your heart, you still have a soft spot for him and you're still concerned about him. So, and I think a lot of people were concerned about what happened and we still don't have answers, but I do feel like everybody is working in concert and helping each other. And there's a feeling of mutual, we all want to get to the bottom of this and make sure that we can just say, all right, this is what happened, and this is, we're all good with it,
So with the not being able to get the toxicology report, I'm assuming you said they weren't able to do that because I think you. Is that one of your babies?
That's that's Molly in the background. She's
Molly Jean.
Molly promo like Grandpa. She's got
Molly Jean, which, by the way, her middle name is named after Terry. So, is it my understanding you say that they didn't have a toxicology report because they couldn't pull blood because when they were transporting him, he was dead and didn't have a source to pump? I guess maybe your heart needs to be pumping for you able to pull blood. Maybe.
I don't really know. I'm not a doctor, and I think it's public knowledge that there's no toxicology. I'm not really sure. I don't want to be speaking on something I don't totally know about.
Right.
I asked about toxicology, and they said that they couldn't get it. So I was like, well, that stinks. But, from what I know, I think you have to have blood pressure in order to be able to pull blood. I don't really know what the whole thing is. But, aside from that, I mean, I think everybody's, I don't think there's any foul play or anything involved. I think it's just that, I just want to know, all right, yeah, your heart can stop, but why? So that was my biggest thing is what's it from? Could it just be that it was God just being like, hey, brother, it's your time, let's go. And it could be that simple, but I think everybody's working together and doing a good job. So my nerves are put at ease, and
do you feel
I think that the press needs to lay off because, from what I understand, they've been just beating up Sky and beating up,
and that's
doctors and beating everybody up.
That's been me, Brooke. I really have. I don't know if you listen to the show or not, but I have been in the very front lines of being very critical of all the people that you mentioned. Maybe I need to man up and say I apologize to those that I were very critical on. Because it looks like, now obviously I have you who has actually talked to the Clearwater PD, listened to, I'm assuming they probably played you the 911. I'm assuming they probably were very transparent and let you see anything that you wanted, I'm assuming.
Very transparent. Very transparent. some of it was, made me really, really feel for Sky, and was heartbreaking, to be honest. But, it's sad that some of it will be released to the public. In that sense, it's like you wish that there could be some form of privacy. But, I'm glad that they were very transparent with me. And, and honestly, everybody was critical of the situation, because I think one of the first headlines, I don't know who ran it, but it was like, quick cremation with no autopsy. And that alone made me go, what the hell? Like, well, hold on, wait, back it up a minute, So I think everybody got set into a panic, in a sense, where it was like, why? That it was just so crazy. Like, why, what's the issue here? Like, what are we missing? But, I feel good. I feel good now going home, that I got to see my dad. He looked good. I got to make sure that, there was an autopsy done, and I got to see his lawyer, and I got to, give him a hug, and Clearwater Police were very transparent. So, I know there's still more investigating to do, so I don't want to assume anything, but from what my heart tells me, I think, everything's on the up and up, and people are doing their jobs, and doing it correctly. So, but I mean, like I said, I think not just you or me or anybody, I think everybody was kind of wondering what is happening, what's going on.
Now, you said, and
we still don't have answers, but
right.
It seems like everybody's, in good faith doing the right thing,
So when you said, and I don't mean to be too graphic, and I hope this doesn't upset you, but when you said that you were able to see that he had an autopsy, is that meaning that you actually, saw him and you pulled back the gown and saw where they had, done the autopsy incisions?
I am, my daddy raised me to be tough, and I had to do what I had to do to make sure that I saw what I needed to see.
Wow.
So,
that had to be very, I can't even begin to tell you how tough that probably was. And thank God your husband was with you, because he's a tough dude and a good dude. And because I know that he came to town as well. And
yeah, he was a good rock. But, at the same time, though, I said, it's crazy. I've seen him look worse in the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no laughing matter, but I guess I feel more lighthearted about it today, because I do have faith, and I do believe that he's not in his body. He's in the spirit realm, and I think he's in a good place, so that puts my heart at ease. And it makes me feel good to know that, I know his biggest concern was he never wanted his fans or anybody to see him weak or, feeble or anything like that. And I was happy to see that he literally looked as big and as strong and as beautiful as you could ever imagine him,
And that was, a lot of people gave you some crap about not wanting to participate in the circus show, so to speak, when they had his funeral, 1 for the family, 2 for the wrestlers and friends. And you knew for a fact, because I've spoke to you about it, that Terry didn't really want that sort of pageantry, if you will. And so
he did not.
And you chose.
He definitely did not. But, hey, everything happens for a reason. Maybe it was because of yesterday. Maybe it was because I needed to see him. I don't know. It's like I didn't know that 5 weeks ago that I might need to see him yesterday. So everything happens for a reason. I know he didn't want any of that. I know he would have probably just preferred to be cremated and thrown in the ocean and not had this drag on this long and have it be such a big public thing. But, he's a very important person, and a lot of people care about him, and a lot of people love him, so kind of comes with the territory, just like signing autographs, So,
but what I was going to say is that I feel, us reconnecting and being friends, me reconnecting with me meeting your husband, me, and again, us reconnecting. I feel that it was important for you, with regards to closure, to actually physically be able to see him on your terms, not on a pageantry with 600 other people at the Indian Rocks Beach Baptist Church, but for you to woman up, so to speak, drive over to Tampa and say goodbye to your dad on your terms. And thank you to the people that Sky, I know, had to approve of that, and the
Sky approved. Yeah, Sky had to approve that, and she was absolutely Brooke, like, do whatever you need to do. So that was very kind of her. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been critical of her, and I need to walk all that back, and I will. But more importantly, man, I was not expecting. I knew you were in town, but I wasn't expecting a little report like you're giving me. So thank you.
Well, God, I mean, thank you for giving me the platform to do so, because I'm telling you, my phone is blowing up, and like I'm literally blocking reporters, and and from what I understand, this has caused a lot of pain, and it's not just you. I mean, everybody has been critical of the situation, and it's just been an absolute, circus. So I wanted to use your platform, if you will, to just, this is my voice. This is not AI. It's terrible. AI, honestly, side note, AI should be illegal. I can't believe the videos and stuff that I've seen people making of me. It's disgusting. Some of the stuff is beautiful. Like, it's my dad and Hulk Hogan with Macho Man. I mean, it's my dad with Macho Man in heaven, and it's beautiful, but some of it is just horrible. So, but yeah, I appreciate you allowing me to call in and set the record straight, because at this point, people need to just let now the cops figure out what they're going to figure out, leave Sky alone, leave everybody alone, and just, kind of put it to rest,
and kind of
really, they're still in an investigation and nobody has any answers.
Right.
So, but from my gut intuition tells me that everything's on the up and up, so.
And even if they don't have a toxicology report, and let's say that indeed he did take some pills or whatever, it doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, we can't bring him back. And if that's the way he chose to go out, by whatever means, either he took too many or his body couldn't absorb, whatever, or he just, God struck him and shut his heart down, and he just literally stopped breathing, like the way they say, the way that the report reads. At this point, if you're satisfied, I'm satisfied. And it seems as though that you're ready to kind of take this burden off your shoulders, close this chapter, and start concentrating. I know I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I know you got a TV gig coming up, a really, really cool one. And hopefully when you can announce that, you'll announce it on my show. But I know you got that. I know you got like 3 or 4 kind of major deals that you're working on right now, and hopefully we can stay abreast of what because people, the Bubba Army loves you. They are so thankful that you have forgiven me and my participation of an absolute crap show that affected you. And, everybody's just taken back by your generosity and letting me be part of your family again. So hopefully this is closing a chapter while opening up, and being able to start working on your brand and, the stuff the projects that you got going on in conjunction with running a very successful, very high-end, interior decorating place out of Nashville with your friend Ashley.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, it's so funny because there are a couple things in the cooker, that actually started before this fiasco started, before my dad passed. I was kind of approached by a few people to do some stuff, and it's all positive, and it's all, I said if I ever did TV again, or if I ever got back into the business, it would have to be with people that I trusted. It'd have to be with good people. It would have to be something positive. Otherwise, what are you doing it for? It's like, if I'm not, acting in a way that is a good influence, or bringing happiness to people's lives, then there's no point, and I've really enjoyed my privacy up to this point, my little private life with my babies and my husband. But my main focus, honestly, I'm way behind the 8 ball on my real job. I need to get back to BB Designs and answer some clients and order some furniture and put the pedal to the metal on the real life stuff. So, we've got a lot of houses to finish before the end of the year, and Ashley's been kind of, at the helm right now, taking over for me. So I need to give her a little bit of cash and be like, thanks, dude, for helping me out while I was going through this fiasco. So Ashley's been an absolute soldier for me on the real life end of business. So, and
let's not forget you got twins, and that's a handful too. I mean, oh man.
Oh, it's 2 hands full. That's why we have 2 hands. I mean, seriously, it's twins on top of it, it's like such a blessing that it just was like a natural, wow, boy, girl, cool. You knocked them all out in one shot, but holy crap, me and Steve are like, we need a vacation. This has just been crazy. So, but we're very blessed, and it's a beautiful thing that, my dad lives on through my children and through me, and the fun stories that you have of him, and it just seems like all the good about him is living through the people that loved him the most, and I know that you loved him so much, and I feel so bad that you guys didn't have a friendship, because I know in my heart of hearts you did truly love him, and I can still see the soft spot that you have for him. And I'm glad that we were able to clear it up, that, he knew it wasn't you. Sorry, my kids are going crazy.
It's okay.
He knew it wasn't you that released the tape, and I really wish you guys could have, established that bond for whatever reason, why he couldn't, be friends with you after that. I don't really know those details, but I always knew you to be a great guy, and you were always nice to us. And it seems like the only thing that sucks is that we lost him. But the beautiful thing is it's almost like he's sending me the people that I need the most in my life right now. And I've got my babies, I've got my husband, now I've got you, and it's just, it's bittersweet. But,
listen,
I think my dad's magically, heavenly orchestrating things to protect me and help me along the way. So
I didn't want to bug you yesterday because I knew you were in town. It sounds like you got some really good information, and that you feel a lot better about the whole scenario. And there is a little bit still of an investigation to go on. They will be releasing 911 tapes that are just, that are disturbing. So you'll probably have to live through that somewhat through the media. But more importantly, thank you so much for calling me. You really, it just...
Thank you for allowing me to set the record straight, because I can't answer every single news outlet's, phone call. It's just been an absolute, full-on attack, So, and I'm sure it's been the same on Sky's end and Nick's end and everybody's. So, and I really do hope that when and if, this stuff does become public information, if people really find it in their heart to find the absolute bottom of their heart goodness, to be as respectful as possible about it, because, there have been some press people and just, there's always bad in the world, obviously. And there's good too. And I hope that the good people override the bad and have respect for the situation. Because this was quite a nightmare to go through for everybody. So,
well, listen, Brookie, I we text often. Let's keep in touch, and I look forward to seeing you at my premiere. I know that
I'm excited too. I'm very happy for you.
Lummy, that's going to blow people away. That Brooke Hogan.
It sure is.
Oh my God,
walking down the red carpet.
Yeah,
you know what? I'll tell you this: my dad would have done it for you.
So, I don't know. I don't know. It's very pro. It's very pro him. Like it doesn't bury him. It just tells it basically just tells the story.
You know what? I think deep down in my heart, my dad truly loved you, and you truly loved him. And without all this physical, worldly crap, I think soul to soul, my dad would have been very, happy that you got your life back on track and that you're doing well. So.
Listen, Brookie, I love you. Always will. And let's keep in touch, and tell your husband thank you for all that he does as well.
Thank you for everything, Bubba. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Brookie.